ShriRam Charitmana 742. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet while he dropped his body without his knowing it. Even as elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of flowers from its neck. Even as the elephant little knows the falling of a wreath of flowers from the neck. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet while he dropped his body without knowing it, even as the elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of the flower from its neck. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay. The Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay with disheveled hair, and the tottering frame Tara, Vali's wife, with disheveled hair and tottering frame Tara, Vali's wife, wailed in many ways. When the Lord of Raghu saw her distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispelled her delusion. Made up of the five elements, that is earth, water, fire, ether and air, the body is extremely vile. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. For whom then do you lament? The light of wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced her feet and asked of him the boon of the supreme devotion. The Almighty Sri Rama, O Uma, says Bhagwan Shankara, makes us all dance like so many marionettes. Sri Rama then gave order to ShriGriva to perform all the fernal rites with due ceremony. He next instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown ShriGriva as the king, bowing their head to the Lord of Raghu, or left in obedience to his orders. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet, Vali dropped his body. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet, intensifying their 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 devotion to Sri Rama's feet, intensifying devotion to Sri Rama's feet, intensifying devotion to Sri Rama's feet. Devotion means devotion. Intensifying their devotion to Sri Rama's feet, intensifying their devotion to Sri Rama's feet, intensifying their devotion. Love, loyalty and emphasis for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person's fidelity, loyalty and piety is called the devotion. 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 Intensifying the devotion, intensifying the devotion, intensifying the devotion, intensifying the devotion. Intensifying means intensifying the devotion. Intensifying means intensifying means intensifying means intensifying the devotion to Sri Rama's feet. Intensifying. Intensifying means become or make more intense. Become or more make. Increase the opacity using a chemical. Increase the opacity using the chemical. Increase the opacity. Intensifying. To become intense or more intensive. Grow stronger or more acute. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensify. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger or more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Grow stronger and more acute is called the intensifying. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet while he dropped his body without his knowing it. While he dropped his body without his knowing it. Even as elephant little knows the falling of wreath of flowers from his neck. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay. All the people of the city ran in dismay. All the people of the city ran in dismay. All the people of the city ran in dismay. All the people of the city ran in dismay. All the people of the city ran in dismay. Dismay means concern and distress caused by something unexpected is called dismay. Concern and distress caused by something unexpected. 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 Distressed caused by something unexpected. Distressed caused by something unexpected. Distress caused by something unexpected is called the dismay. Dismay means distress caused by something unexpected. 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 Distress means dismayed caused by something unexpected. Distress means dismay caused by something unexpected. Distress means dismay or caused by something unexpected. Distress means dismay caused by something unexpected. Distress means dismay caused by something unexpected. Dismayed means distress caused by something unexpected. Rain in dismay with dish evil hair and totting ear. Disheveled ear and totting frame. Disheveled ear with disheveled hair. Disheveled hair. Disheveled means disheveled. Disheveled means disheveled hair. Disheveled means untidy and disordered clothes. Untidy and disordered is called a untidy. Disheveled. Untidy and disordered. Disheveled means untidy and disordered. Disheveled. Untidy and disordered. Disheveled. Untidy and disordered. Disheveled. A person's hair, cloth or appearance untidy and disordered is called a disheveled. A person's hair, cloth, or appearance untidy and disordered is called the disheveled. A person's hair, clothes, or appearance untidy and disordered is called the disheveled. A person's hair, clothes, or appearance untidy and disordered is called the disheveled. A person's hair, clothes, or appearance untidy and disordered is called the disheveled. In a person's hair, clothes, or appearance untidy and disordered is called the disheveled. With disheveled hair and tottering frame, tottering means tottering means disheveled hair and tottering frames. Disheveled hairs and tottering frames. Tottering frames. Tottering means tottering. Tottering. Tottering means feeble or unsteady, shaking or swaying as if about to collapse. Shaking or swaying as it about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as it about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as it about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as if about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as if about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as if about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as if about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying is if about to collapse is called the tottering. Shaking or swaying as if about to collapse is called the tottering. Walking unsteadily 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 is called the tottering. Walking tottering means walking unsteadily. Lacking firmness and stability is called the tottering. Lacking firmness and stability is called the tottering. Lacking firmness and stability is called the tottering. And the tottering disheveled hair and the tottering frame. Tara Wali's wife wailed too many ways. Wailed too many ways. Wailed too many ways. Tara's wife wailed too many ways. Too many ways. Wailed in many ways. Tara's wife wailed in many ways. Wailed means Tara's wife wailed in many ways. Tara's wife wailed in many ways. Tara's wife wailed in many ways. Wailed. Tara's wife wailed in many ways. Wailed. Wailed means wailed in many ways. Wailed. Wailed means wailed. Wailed in many ways. Wailed means wailed means make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Deep sorrow is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. Make a prolonged high-pitched sound is called the wail. In many ways. When Lord of Raghu saw her distress, when Lord of Raghu saw her distress, when Lord of Raghu saw her distress, distress means when Lord of Raghu saw her distress, distress means distress, distress means distress, distress means extremely anxiety, sorrow or pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow or pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow and pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow or pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow and pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow and pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow and pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow or pain is called distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow and 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 pain is called distress. extremely anxiety, sorrow, and pain is called the distress. Saw his distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispelled her delusions. He imparted to her wisdom. He imparted to her wisdom. He imparted to her wisdom. Imparted to her wisdom. He imparted to her wisdom. He imparted distress. He imparted her to the wisdom. Imparted to her wisdom. Imparted means make information, make known is called the imparted. 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 Bestow, imparted. Make known is called the imparted. Make known is called the imparted. Convey, communicate is called the imparted. Convey, communicate, transmit, admit is called the inform is called the imparted. Inform is called the imparted. Communicate is called the imparted. Communicate is called the imparted. Communicate is called the imparted. Imparted to her wisdom. He imparted to her wisdom. Wisdom means imparted to her wisdom. Wisdom means he imparted to her wisdom. Wisdom means wisdom. Wisdom means wisdom. Wisdom means wisdom. Wisdom means the quality of hearing, experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of having of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of having wise is called the being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of being experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of being experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. The quality of being wise is called the wisdom. When saw her distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispelled her delusions. Wisdom, the imparted, make known to the wisdom and dispelled her delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Delusion means dispelled. Dispelled means dispelled her delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Dispelled. Dispelled means dispelled her delusions. Dispelled delusion. Dispelled her delusion. Delusion means delusion. Delusion means a false belief or judgment about external reality held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, occurring especially in a mental condition. Dispelled delusion. Delusion means jealous. People with the type of delusions disorder believe that the partner is unfaithful without the consent evidence. Delusions without the partner. Jealous. People with the delusion disorder believe that the spouse of or sexual partner is faithful without any consent evidence. The delusion. False and irrational belief that someone hold on even when there is a evidence that they are not real is called the delusion. False and irrational belief that someone hold on even when there is evidence that they are not real is called a delusion. False and irrational belief that someone hold on to even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational belief that someone hold on to even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational behavior that someone hold on to, even when there is evidence that there are no there they are not real. False and the irrational belief that someone hold on, even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational behavior that someone holds on, even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational behavior belief that someone hold on, even there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational belief that someone hold on, even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational behavior belief that someone hold on, even when there is evidence that they are not real. False and irrational behavior that someone hold on. Delusion means false and irrational belief that someone hold on, even when there is evidence that are not real, is called a delusion. Delusion. He imparted to her wisdom and dispelled delusions, made up of the five elements. Made up of the five elements: earth, water, fire. Earth, water, fire. Made up of all five elements. Made up of the five elements. Made up of the five elements: earth, water, fire, ether, and air. 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 The body is extremely vile. The body is extremely vile. Extremely vile. Extremely vile. Made up of the five elements, as earth, water, fire. Earth, water, fire, ether, and air. 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 While. While means extremely unpleasant is called the while. 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 The maid of the five elements. He imparted her wisdom and dispelled her delusions. Made up of the five elements, as earth, water, fire, ether, and air. Earth, water, fire, ether, and air. Ether and air. This body. This body is extremely vile. Extremely vile. This body is extremely vile, unpleasant. This body is extremely vile. Vile means extremely unpleasant. Extremely unpleasant. Extremely vile. Extremely unpleasant. Extremely vile. The fire, water, fire, and ether and air. The body is extremely vile. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before the mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. While the soul is everlasting. Soul is everlasting. Soul is everlasting. From whom then do you lament? The mortal frame lies buried in external sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes. Eternal sleep before your eyes. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep, buried in the eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. For whom then you lament? The light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced her feet. The light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced her feet. The light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced feet and asked of him the boon of supreme devotion, and asked of him the boon of supreme devotion. uh, and asked for him the boon of supreme devotion, and asked for him to the boon of supreme devotion, and asked to him the boon of supreme devotion. The Almighty Shri Rama, the Uma says, Bhagwan Shankara, make us all dance like the make us dance like so many married marionettes. Marionettes means dance like so many marionettes. The Shama then gave order to marionettes. Marionettes means marionettes. Marionettes means wild. Extremely wild and pleasant is called the wild. Extremely unpleasant is called the wild. Marionettes. Marionettes means little merry. Little marionettes. Marionettes means small scale, usually wooden finger with joint limbs that move above the manipulation of the attached string or wires. Attached string marionettes, dance like marionettes. Sugriva, who perform O my Sheikh Bhagwan Shah, make us all many marionettes, all many marionettes. O Uma, feet and asked the light of the wisdom. The light of the wisdom dawned. Light of the wisdom dawned on her. Light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced her feet, and she embraced his feet. Embraced, asked his to boon of the supreme devotion, and asked the boon of the supreme devotion. Asked a boon of the supreme devotion. Asked a boon of the supreme devotion. Feet and asked of his the boon of the supreme devotion. The Almighty Shri Rama, O Uma, says Bhagwan Shankara, makes us all dance like so many marionettes. Shri Rama then gave order to Sugriva, who performed all the funeral rites with due ceremony. Shri Rama then gave order to Sugriva. He performed all the funeral rites with due ceremony. Shri Rama then gave order to Sugriva, who performed all the funeral rites with due ceremony. The next instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown Sugriva as a king. Go and crown Sugriva. He next instructed to the younger brother. Next he instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown the Sugriva as a king. Going there had the Lord of Raghus all left in obedience to his orders. Going his head to the Lord of Raghu, all left in obedience. Obedience means all left in obedience. Obedience means compliance with an order, request, or law. Submission of another's authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority is called the obedience. Compliance with order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority is called the obedience. Compliance with the order, request, or law. The act of instance of owing. The act of instance, submission of another authority. Compliance with order, request, or law, or submission to another authority is called the obedience. The compliance with order, request, or law, or submission to another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with order, request, or law, submission to another's authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, submission of another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, submission to another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, submission to another authority is called the obedience. Compliance with an order, request, or law, compliance or submission to another authority is called the obedience. Go and crown Sugriva as the king. Going their head to Lord Raghu, all left in obedience to his order. obedience to his orders. Orders means orders. Obedience to his orders. Orders means obedience to his orders. Orders means orders. Orders means the arrangement or disposition of people or thing in relation to each other according to particular. An authoritative command or instruction is called an authoritative command or instruction. The arrangement of disposition of people or thing in relation to each other according to particular sequence, pattern or method. Order. The arrangement of people or thing is called the order. Orders mean the command to go and come to specified place. The command to go. The formal arrangement of thing is called the formal arrangement of thing is called the order. Formal arrangement of thing is called the order. The stated either spoken or written. The formal order. Instruction is called the order. Instruction is called the order. Intensify, page 742. Intensifying his devotion to ShriRama's feet. Intensifying his devotion. Intensifying his devotion. Intensifying his devotion to ShriRama's feet. Intensifying his devotion to ShriRama's feet. Intensifying his devotion to ShriRama's feet. Intensifying his devotion. Intensifying means intensifying. Intensifying means become or make more intense, or become and make more intense is called intensifying. Become and more intense, become or make more intense is called intensifying. Intensifying his devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for the person or activity. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Intensifying his devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. Intensifying the devotion to ShriRama's feet while he dropped his body without his knowing. Love, loyalty and enthusiasm for a person or activity is called the devotion. His body without his knowing it. Even as an elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of the flowers from its neck. Even as the elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of flowers from the neck. Even as elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of the flowers from the neck. Even as the elephant little knows the falling of the wreath of flowers on the neck. Flowers on the neck. ShriRama sent away Vali to his abode. ShriRama sent away Vali. ShriRama sent away Vali to his own abode. Abode means where all the people of the city reign in dismay. With disheveled hair and tottering frame, Tara, Vali's wife, wailed in many ways. When the Lord of Raghu saw her distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispelled her delusions. He imparted to her wisdom. Imparted means communicate to her wisdom and dispel her delusion, false belief, delusion, real fact, false belief, real fact, false belief, made up of the 5 elements. Delusions. Dispelled means dispelled her delusion. Dispelled means what is the dispelled? Dispelled means dispelled means dispelled means dispelled means make disappear is called dispelled. Make disappear is called dispelled. A doubt feeling of belief is called a doubt feeling or belief dispelled. Make disappear a doubt feeling of belief is called a dispelled. To make disappear a doubt feeling of belief is called a dispelled. Make disappear a doubt feeling of belief is called a dispelled. Make disappear a doubt feeling of belief is called a dispelled. Make disappear doubt feeling and belief is called a dispelled. Make disappear disappear, make disappear, make disappear is called dispelled, make disappear, dispelled, make disappear is called a dispel, doubt, feeling or belief, doubt, feeling or belief, make disappear, dispel, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief, doubt, feeling or belief, doubt, feeling or belief, doubt, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling or belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, make disappear, doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled. Doubt, feeling and belief is called a doubt, feeling and belief is called a dispelled. Dispelled her delusion. Delusion means false belief is called rather than fact is called a delusion. False belief rather than fact is called a dispelled. Disappear, make disappear, false feeling and belief, disappear, feeling and belief is called a dispelled, 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 dispelled. Made up of the five elements, that is earth, water, fire, ether and air. This body is extremely wild, this body is extremely wild, extremely wild. The moral frame, extremely wild. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep, eternal sleep, eternal sleep before your eyes. Eternal means the mortal, eternal, eternal means 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 eternal means lasting or existing forever without end. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting or existing forever without end is called the eternal. Lasting and forgetting forever, lasting or existing, lasting without end is called the forever. Existing is called the forever. The veiled Tarawali is veiled in many ways. Veiled, he earth, water, fire, ether, and air. The five element, that is earth, water, fire, ether, and air. Earth, water, fire, ether, and air. Earth. What is the meaning of earth, water? Five elements. Five elements. Earth, water, fire. Five elements. Five elements. Five and air. Earth means earth. Earth, water, fire, and earth. Earth means earth. Earth means that means the planets on which we live, the world. The substance of the land surface, the soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. The substance of the land surface, soil and is called the earth. Earth, water. Earth, water. Water means water. The substance of the land surface, soil is called the earth. Water. Water means water. Water means water. Water means water means water. Water means the colorless, transparent, odorless liquid that form the seas, lakes, rivers, and rain as the basis of flood of living organism is called the water. The colorless, transparent, odorless liquid that forms the seas, lakes, rivers, and rain, and it is the basis of the flood of the living organism. The stretch area of the water, such as river, sea, or lake. A stretch or area of water, such as river, sea, or lake, is called the water. A stretch or area of water, the colorless, transparent, odorless liquid that forms the seas, lake, rivers, and rain, and is basis of flood in living organisms. And basis of flood in living organisms is called the water. And basis of flood in living organism is called the water. And basis of flood in living organism is called the water. And basis of flood in living organism is called the water. And basis of flood in living organism is called the water. Basis of flood living in living organism is called the basis of flood living organism is called the water. Water. Fire means, what does it mean? Fire means fire means fire. Water. Fire means fire is the meaning of fire. Fire means water. Fire means fire. Fire means fire means fire. The state process intense combustion with fuel or other material is ignited and combined with oxygen, giving off light, heat, and flame is called the fire. A state process or instance of combustion in which fuel or other material is ignited, combination with oxygen, giving off light, heat, and flame is called the fire. Fire means the light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. The light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. The light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. The light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. The light and heat and especially a flame produced by burning is called the fire. The light and flame produced by the burning is called the fire. The light and heat and especially the flame produced by burning is the fire. Light and heat especially the flame produced by burning is called the fire. Light and flame produced by the burning is called the fire. Water, fire, ether, and air. Water, fire, ether. Ether means 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 ether means the clear sky, the upper region of air beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region beyond the cloud is called the pleasant smelling colorless volatile liquid that is highly flammable. It is used highly flammable liquid. Highly flammable. It is used pleasant smelling colorless violet liquid that highly flammable. Ether. The clear sky, the upper region beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of the air beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of air beyond the clouds is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of the air beyond the clouds is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of the air beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of the air beyond the clouds is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of air beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of air beyond the cloud is called the ether. The clear sky, the upper region of the beyond the cloud is called the ether. Beyond the ether and air. Ether and air. Ether and air. Ether and air. Air means air. Ether and air. Air means air. Ether and air. Ether and air. Air means air. Air means air. Air means air. Air means the mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surrounds the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surrounds the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surrounds the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases that surround the earth and that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of invisible odorless tasteless gas such as nitrogen and oxygen that surround the earth. The mixture of invisible odorless tasteless gases such as nitrogen and oxygen that surround the earth is called the mixture of in many ways. When the Lord of Rose saw her in distress, mixture of gases that surround the earth that we breathe is called the air. The mixture of gases, the earth and air. The body is extremely vile. Extremely vile. Vile means the body is extremely vile and very unpleasant is called the vile. The body is extremely unpleasant is called the vile. Extremely unpleasant is called the vile. Extremely unpleasant is called the vile. Vile means extremely unpleasant is called the vile. Extremely unpleasant. Wicked, bad is called the morally bad is called the vile. 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 Morally bad. Morally abhorrent. Morally bad is called the vile. Appealing cunt. Morally bad, disgraceful is called the vile. Disgraceful is called the vile. Morally, when the Lord saw her distress, he imparted her wisdom and dispels her delusions, made up of the five elements, that is, earth, water, fire, ether, and this body is extremely vile. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. Before your eyes, mortal soul buried in eternal sleep, while the soul is everlasting, while the soul is from whom then you laminate. Light of wisdom dawned on her, and now she light of wisdom dawned on her. Light of wisdom dawned on her. Light of wisdom dawned on her. Light of wisdom dawned on her, and now she light of wisdom dawned on her. Now she embraced his feet and asked of him the boon of supreme devotion. Light of wisdom, light of wisdom dawned. Light of wisdom, light of wisdom, light of wisdom, light of wisdom dawned on her. Light of wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced his feet and asked him to boon of supreme devotion. Ask him the boon of supreme devotion. Ask him the boon of light of wisdom dawn, and ask him to boon of supreme devotion. The Almighty Shri Rama, O Uma, says Bhagwan Shankara, makes us all dance like so many meritones, so many meritones, dance like so many meritones. Shri Rama then gave order to Sugriva, so many meritones, dance like, make us all dance like so many meritones, make us dance like so many meritones. Shri Rama then gave order to the Sugriva, who performed all the fernal rites with due fernal rites to it perform all the fernal rites. Then gave order to Sugriva, who performed all fernal rites with due ceremony. Then Sri Rama ordered Sugriva, who performed all the fernal rites with due ceremony, who performed fernal rite with due ceremony. The Sri Rama then gave order to Sugriva, who performed all the fernal rites with due ceremony. He next instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown Sugriva as a king.
Next, instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown Sugriva as the king. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. King means go and crown Sugriva as a king. Crown Sugriva as a king. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. King. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. King. King means the letter of go and crown Sugriva as a king. Go and crown Sugriva as a king. King means go and crown Sugriva as a king. Ruler is called the king, the male ruler of the country who usually inherit the position and rules for life. Who position rules for life is called the ruler. A male ruler of the country is called the ruler. A male ruler of the country is called the ruler. Male ruler of the country is called the male ruler of the country is called the ruler. Main ruler of the country is called the ruler. Main ruler of the country. Male ruler of the country. Male ruler of the country is called the king. Male ruler of the country is called the king. Male ruler of the country is called the king. Male ruler of the country is called the king. Male ruler of the country is called intensifying the devotion to Sri Rama's feet while he dropped his body without his knowing it. Even as elephant didn't know the falling of the wreath of the flower from its neck. Sri Rama sent away Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay. With dishevelled hair and tottering frame, Uttara, Vali's wife, wailed in many ways. When the Lord of Raghu saw her distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispelled her delusions. Um, Made up of the five elements such as earth, water, fire, ether, and air. The body is extremely vile. The mortal frame lies buried in eternal sea before your eyes, while the soul is everlasting. For whom then do you lament? The light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced his feet and asked to him to boon of supreme devotion. The Almighty Sri Rama says, Bhagwan Shankara, make us all dance like so many Emeritus. Sri Rama then gave order to Sugriva, who performed all the final rites with due ceremony. The next instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown Sugriva as a king. Bowing his head to the Lord of Raghu, all left in obedience to his order. Sri Ramayana, page number 742.